Check, check. Check, check.
September 11th, for the Common Council meeting on the second floor of City Hall. Agenda's been posted, media has been notified. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Tom Kelly, Stephen Jopek,
Here.
Eileen Daniel,
Here.
Gerald Anderson, Thomas Barnett,
Here.
David Holt, Leanne Felton,
Here.
Chris Hannes,
Here. We do have quorum. Please stand
I'm
for the
here
pledge.
too.
and Carrie Mikulowski.
Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to number 4, which would be public comment. I have Lauren Sackett.
It's been a while since I had been to a meeting, so I figured while I was here, I would give you guys a little update of all of the things that have kind of transpired over the last few months. So this is in no order because this was just my brain today. This Thursday, we're launching our next Leadership Oneida County class. So they're starting the kickoff retreat this Thursday. We have another class going through, which we're excited about. I believe this is our 14th class. Our alumni list is now over 150 individuals long. We are in the development of the 2024 Rhinelander Area Guide, which is exciting, but crazy to think that another year is coming to an end. So if the public has any photos of the community that they would like to share, how we can best showcase the community, please feel free to send them our way. I want to share that in late August, Discover Wisconsin was here in Rhinelander filming some video footage for us. And we will have 2 short videos that'll be airing early next spring in advance of the summer tourism season next year. With that, we are also applying for the second year of a GEM grant so we can further our new branding that we did over the last couple years. We did have the GEM grant previously to help develop the brand, and now we would like to apply for the GEM grant to help us further our marketing reach and put those things into effect. So we are looking for municipal support with a letter of support, and I know I've reached out to Patrick and a few other municipalities surrounding us for that letter of support for that grant application. We are also assisting with a diversity, equity, inclusion grant for the county and a child care grant, which have both been very busy over the last several months. I want to share that this week we have a Chicago-based travel writer that will be in Rhinelander. He will be here later this week into the weekend, and we are sending him out throughout the community. He's a foodie, so he may be visiting several local restaurants while he's here, with the hopes that he'll write about his travels in his different avenues for writing. We have Business After 5 each month, but this next week on the 20th, we'll be at Holiday Acres with West Bay Camping Resort. We strongly urge local professionals to come and join us for that and network. We have a Forward Rhinelander meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m. at Art Start if you're interested in attending that. The school superintendent, Eric Burke, will be speaking, talking about their upcoming strategic plan, mental health in youth, and a lot of other things, as well as the different community updates. And then I just wanted to share that we've run 5 chamber events this year so far. We have one more to come, which is our photos with Santa and the Hodag. And we're closing in on 400 members, so we're really excited for the growth that we've experienced over the last year. Thank you.
Thank you. I have Ed Taylor.
Yeah, that'll be me. Thanks for having me. I'm here on the behalf and promotion of block parties. We're on Wisconsin Avenue. We have block parties yearly. It's something the neighborhood looks forward to. My stock goes up in Rhinelander for allowing them to happen and helping with them. I think it's a small step for the neighborhood in Rhinelander and a bigger step for the community. That's it.
Thank you. I believe we have a Sharon.
Sharon Shoppy. I was here before. I just introduced myself to you. I too am here on the block party. And first of all, I want to thank you for waiving our $100 fee because we really appreciate that because we're a small little block. And so I just want to say thank you. And also, since I sat down and was talking to my neighbor Bill over here, he said that we were on the agenda for the ordinances, but under it says none. So the last time I read the paper and I thought you were going to be talking about the ordinances tonight. So are you going to be talking about the ordinance or what's going on now?
So this is a public comment section. Per the agenda,
Okay,
it's
you
stated
can't-
there's no ordinances tonight.
Yes. Okay. What did you say about the ordinance?
Per stated on the agenda, there's nothing about ordinances being discussed tonight.
Okay. Okay. I guess if you're going to have a committee meeting, I would like to be notified if you do have a committee meeting that's going to discuss this, so that we don't have to be here next year in discussion of an ordinance and paying for a block party. I wish while we're here, someone would mention that when you are going to be discussing this ordinance, because according to the paper, you were going to be discussing the ordinance tonight. So thank you, and I would like a comment.
Thank you. Was there anyone else for public comment? Any other alders have any public comment? Mr. Barnett?
I was asked to read this tonight. Every council member received this email, and she reached out to me specifically and asked me to read this. It's from Kathy Lundberg. An update from the last time I talked to council. Kelly Chilson, the pro hired by Oliphant, quit on Saturday. Kelly said he was 61 years old and working 60 hours a week was too much. The KC League, Knights of Columbus, has left Northwoods Golf Course and will have their jamboree at Pinewood Golf Course, where Sonia Sheffland, the chef that left with Kyle, will be serving them ribs and chicken at $20 a plate. Ryan Adams' outing, which was the largest in the area, named Ryan Adams, a young man from Rhinelander who was killed in Iran, has signed on with Pinewood next season as they felt they weren't accommodated at Northwoods. The waterfall is still not running. Lastly, I asked Justin Fox from Oliphant why they were running Northwoods Golf Course into the ground, and his response to me was not to buy it. If you need any information as far as golf goes, please feel free to contact her. She left her number. Thank you for your time as we try to save Northwoods Golf Course from the direction it is headed. Kathy Lundberg.
Anyone else have any other public comment? Not seeing. Move on to number 5, which is mayor's comments. At this time, I have none. Moving on to number 6, which is public hearings. None apply. Moving on to number 7, which is presentations. A, street projects update by Mark with Town and Country Engineering.
So Oneida Avenue is still struggling with some scheduling delays. We're working on curb and gutter right now. They were out today. We had a rain delay. They were going to be finishing up curb on King and then hitting Pelham tomorrow. Hopefully we get all the curb done on King and Pelham tomorrow. I'm not sure if they're going to get all that done tomorrow, but they're going to be working on that. Next week they'll be in to finish up all the rest of the curb on all the streets that are opened up right now. Chippewa does have a crew in working on all the concrete flat work, sidewalks and the approaches. They're about up to Davenport right now. That crew is going to stay on site until they're finished. That's about 3 weeks of work with all the sidewalk and approaches. Storm sewer crew will be in tomorrow to finish up the storm sewer on Anderson Street and Conroe. At that point, it's just concrete, building roads, and paving. At this point, for the roads that are open right now, we anticipate that should be complete in probably mid-October. Any questions on Oneida?
Are any of these delays due to WPS?
All of the delays are due to WPS.
I would like to make a motion to direct Mark to question WPS in refunding the city what we're losing on these projects.
Let me clarify that, Tom. The initial delay was due to WPS. How these contractors schedule their work. If it wasn't for the initial WPS delay, they would probably be wrapping up this project right now.
My motion stands.
Okay.
It's been 3 seconds without a second.
You didn't ask for a second.
Fine. Does anyone want to second the motion?
I'll second.
Okay, second by Mikulowski. Any discussion on the motion? No. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Stephen Jopek.
I had a comment, so I had my hand up over here.
Sorry.
So I guess I just want to clarify the motion, and that we're just kind of checking in on the status of that money, right? Like it's not necessarily okay.
Correct. That's my motion.
Yeah.
It's for Mark to ask WPS if they'd be willing to reimburse the city because of their delay.
All right. I think that's fair. That's nothing wrong with asking a question. You know. All right. Well, I'm good on my comment. Now we can take the vote. That's all. I just had my hand raised, wanting to ask that question.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
David Holt. Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Tom Kelly. Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Motion passes. Mark, I believe you're already in discussions with WPS. How's that going?
It's going slowly. I mean, I need to talk to the right people, Mr. Mayor, and they may be open to it. I just need to ask the right people. The WPS Electric has been fantastic on this job. The only issue we had is with the gas. So I'll pose the question. I'll get back to council at next meeting.
Anything else for the Oneida project? Okay, not seeing. If you want to move on to the next project.
Timber Drive, the water and sewer is installed past Timber Heights to the east. You notice curb and gutter and asphalt is paved up past Woodland right now. We are waiting to get some poles pulled out of the north side. WPS moved the poles, but there's still some communication lines on there. We're waiting for Charter to get those lines off. Once those lines are off, we can pull the poles, the old poles, and then we can get the bike path paved. That is supposed to happen this week, so hopefully we can get that path paved next week and wrap up that first section up to Woodland. Musson has gotten restoration done on the south side, and they're starting to wrap up some driveways out there as well. What's anticipated for next week is they'll be working on storm sewer east of Woodland, and then starting to build road at the same time. Hopefully in 2 weeks, they'll be up past Timber Heights and potentially putting in curb there, depending on how the concrete scheduling goes. But the sewer and water, once we're past Timber Heights, it is all south of the road. It's no longer in the road. So conceivably, when Peterson is working on the pipe, the sewer and water, Musson could be in there building some road. So we could see some real good progression on that one coming up the next 3 weeks. Any questions on timber?
I believe you still have, what, Phillips Street Bridge utility project?
Yeah, so Phillips Street, they have all the water main in on the east side. That was done, I think, at the last meeting. They had wrapped that up. They have all the water main removed from underneath the bridge. They're starting to install the hangers on the bottom of that bridge. You're going to see tonight there's some modifications we had to do to some of the brackets under there to make that work. But they're moving slowly, getting those brackets on. They're hitting some hardened steel in that bridge deck, which is causing them some issues, and also requiring some modifications to some brackets in there. So that one's progressing. We're anticipating the brackets will be up next week. At that time, they'll start installing the pipe. We'll get it tested. Once it's tested, we're going to have to install the water main on the west side of the bridge. I would say in 3 weeks that project will be wrapped up.
Mr. Anderson?
I've forgotten, is this a larger main than the previous one?
Yes, it is. The existing was a 6-inch water main. This is 8-inch.
Do you foresee any people being without water for this changeover, or is it just more one leg of a loop being affected?
Nobody's going to be out of water. So we actually have that shut down on either side of the bridge right now. The only building that's affected is the one where the mill runs their clarifier on the south side, just east of the bridge. And they're fine without water, so it's not affecting anybody.
Okay. Did you have anything else for
No,
projects? Cool. Council doesn't have nothing else for Mark. We move on. Okay. For 7B, our other presentation, Ski for Light event.
Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, good evening. Thank you very much for allowing me to come and get you up to date on Ski for Light. My name is Michael Evelo, and I initially did a presentation in front of what was at that time the golf committee, and that was back in the summer of 2016. And basically, all the faces have changed here since then. So I'm going to do a little update here. I got some flyers I'd like to pass around. Is that good? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Anyway, basically, back at that time, my goal was to get Ski for Light to come to Rhinelander in 2019. Kind of missed the mark, but we got it coming. Basically, Ski for Light is an organization where we hold a one-week event every year, and we hold it in different locations throughout the United States. Of course, in the northern part of the United States where there's snow during the wintertime. And anyway, it's like last year was held out at Snow Mountain Ranch, Granby, Colorado. It's been at Tahoe Donner, been up in Alaska, been in some of the northeast states and over in Michigan. And I did my first Ski for Light event in 2015 as a guide, and I was kind of anxious to see who from the Rhinelander area was there. And I was quite embarrassed that with all of the cross-country skiers we have in this area, that the closest one was about 100 miles away. And I started querying around, and nobody knew about it. And so it became my goal to bring the event to Rhinelander and to get the community involved in this event. But first off, we'll go ahead, and I've got a 6-minute video to play that. And it really explains a lot of what Ski for Light is about. We teach blind mobility, handicap, cross-country skiing, and like I say, it's a one-week event we hold. And go ahead.
Light Incorporated is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization founded in 1975 based on a Norwegian program begun in 1964, and the ties to Norway and Norwegian culture remain strong. The mission of the organization is to teach blind, visually, and mobility impaired adults the sport of classic cross-country skiing. Each year, Ski for Light Incorporated conducts a week-long event that attracts upwards of 300 skiers and guides. The event is held in a different location each year, from New Hampshire to northern Michigan to Colorado and to Alaska, to spread the Ski for Light philosophy and idea to as many people as possible. Bonnie O'Day, skier from Alexandria, Virginia.
I had never participated in outdoor sports, even though I grew up in Minnesota. I never felt like that was really a possibility for me.
Holly Schmaling, guide from Delafield, Wisconsin.
This is a recreational group. If you want to race, that's great, but you don't have to be a racer to come to this group. We're all here for fun and just to be out on the snow and enjoy the snow.
During the Ski for Light week, each disabled skier is paired for the entire week with an experienced, sighted, able-bodied cross-country skier who acts as a ski instructor and guide.
Turned into a 2. Faster.
The disabled person skis in tracks or grooves in the snow, while the guide skis in a parallel set of tracks. The guide tells the skier about upcoming changes in the terrain and trail, offers instructional tips and suggestions,
Going across the road, down.
support as necessary, encouragement, and describes the countryside.
Excellent. We're going to go a left curve, probably a left edge.
Scott McCall, Vice President of Ski for Light, tells about his experience with first-time guides.
The guides that I've talked to over the years say that initially they came here, they didn't know much about Ski for Light. They may not have ever met a blind person before, and they thought they might be going to do something for people that are blind. Early in the week, they realize that they're coming to do something with people that are blind.
The visually and mobility impaired adults who attend each Ski for Light week come from all over the U.S. and from several foreign countries. Many of them come to Ski for Light with a desire to become more physically active and fit. Again, Bonnie O'Day.
One thing that I'm really interested in is staying aerobically fit and allowing myself to get enough exercise so that I remain healthy.
Judy Dixon, skier from Arlington, Virginia.
People who don't see, people who have mobility impairments can get outside and move around and play and have fun. That's an amazing part.
Okay.
Yeah, see it, right?
Right, yeah.
Most of these skiers discover, in the process of learning how to cross-country ski, that they can accomplish much more than others have told them. Denise Avant, skier from Chicago, Illinois.
In the beginning of the week, you might have fallen down, but then as the week goes on, you get more steady and used to your skis, and your guide is there to teach you and give you pointers, and then all of a sudden you have it.
Nino Pacini, skier from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan.
When you get out to do activities, you generally have to do them with someone. And it's hard to find someone who's like-minded, wants to do it at your level, and likes to do what you like to do.
Again, Scott McCall.
It takes a great deal of both trust and communication to respond to the commands of a guide.
Your tandem, I'm going to grab you. Gently down, not a problem. You got your tracks. There's been some wipe outs here.
When you're going across a flat area or going down a hill at a high speed and your guide says tips right or a little left, you have to execute that command without stopping and wondering why. You just have to trust.
Thanks to all of the folks who volunteered.
The volunteer guides who attend Ski for Light are a very special group of people. They pay the same event fees as disabled skiers so that they can share a favorite activity with someone who would otherwise not have the opportunity to participate. Again, Holly Schmaling.
So either you're teaching someone to ski who's never been on the snow, or you're really helping someone who's a little more competitive perfect techniques.
Most of these guides discover that in the process of giving of themselves, they are getting as much or more back in return. Many of them return to each event year after year. Leslie Macklin, guide from Evanston, Illinois.
I look forward to this event every year, and I think of it as the most wonderful volunteer vacation.
Ski for Light relies on the generosity and support of individuals, corporations, fraternal groups, and foundations to keep the cost of each event affordable for all who wish to attend. To participate, to become a guide, or to help support our mission, please visit us today at sfl.org.
All right, isn't that awesome? Yeah. That particular film that you just watched.
There's one simple hearing hack.
Okay, anyway, that turned 10 years old this year, and recently the president of Ski for Light has put the effort into place to redo that film at the event here in Rhinelander this year. So that would be exciting to have Rhinelander shown as our promotional film after this year. So many of those people in that were strangers to me 10 years ago, but now they are just fantastic friends. It's just a great group of people. And what so many of them have said in there, or especially like Scott McCall talking about how, as a guide, you may be thinking that you're going in to do something for the blind, mobility, handicap, but actually you're going in there to do it with them. And there's such a wide variety of skiers involved in there. You may have seen one person doing sign language in there. That skier is actually blind and deaf. And they through motions on their back with their finger, tell them to turn right, left, up, down, that type of thing. He comes from Denmark every year. And then the skiers are anywhere, like one of the gentlemen in there, I guided through the full American Birkebeiner back in 2019, so we have skiers at that skill level. We have another gentleman that will turn 102 this year that skis, so you can about imagine how fast he skis, it's kind of in the slow end, so we got, and everything in between. So getting to what's going on here at the event here in Rhinelander, it's going to be, the skiing is going to be out at the Northwood Trails out at Northwood Golf Course, and primarily be staying at the Quality Inn. Ski for Light has the whole Quality Inn booked for that week, mainly because we need the meeting space. We gather together as a group every morning and every evening, and then we also have evening entertainment. So it's a lot more than just a ski event. And then also we've got quite a few rooms rented out at the American next door. We're going to have a total of between, at least 230. If there was more room, we could easily have 250, 260 here, but we are limited by mainly by the amount of meeting space that's available at the Quality Inn. As far as any issues that we have coming up with the event, that we need guides. We've got right now, we could use 50 guides. And so if you know of anybody that's a cross-country skier that would love to share their skiing, that's something we could really use there. Another big issue is transportation that we're having a hard time getting worked out, especially between Quality Inn and the golf course. If we really open up our wallet, our problem is solved. When I very first was working on bringing this Ski for Light to Rhinelander, it was going to cost us about $1,000 for that week, and the last, we're sitting at about $17,000 now just for calling back and forth. And so we do need to get some issues worked out there to try to get that cost down significantly. We've got some ideas and that type of thing. So anybody knows of a 30-passenger coach for rent that we could have a CDL driver drive for us, that would help out a lot. But so otherwise, I don't kind of shorten the presentation because I know you guys have a lot to do yet tonight. But what do you have for questions, or what can I help you out with there?
Mr. Jopek?
Well, first off, I think it's awesome that you're putting this amount of work into it. I mean, I've never heard of it. I'm not a cross-country skier. I'm originally from Kansas, so that's probably why. But I want to give you a lot of praise for just pursuing that, because that is dedication and selfless service on levels that many people don't know. And so I really do appreciate that. The second thing I have is, I know, and this might not be the level that would be fitting for them, but the high school has a cross-country ski team, a Nordic ski team that's pretty large, I would say. I don't know how it is compared to other schools, but have you communicated at all with the coaches there and like even the potential for them to just assist with just running errands for you and getting the school involved as part of that service?
Yeah, the Northwoods Nordic Ski Club are the ones that are doing the teaching and coaching and managing the teams, like at the high school, junior high, and I've been very involved. Matter of fact, they were the first group that I gave a presentation to about Ski for Light coming to Rhinelander, and how much they would be willing to be involved. And matter of fact, they've recently invested a lot of money in improved equipment so that they can do a better job of grooming out there for us. So yeah, they've been really involved, and they're really excited about Ski for Light coming to Rhinelander, and they've really been looking forward to it coming.
Mr. Barnett.
I'll echo Mr. Joe Peck's praise on the event. I think it's wonderful. I think it's fantastic. I as well have never heard about this, but I have a fairly large social network, so I will definitely be putting out inquiries to people that may be able to help with the skiing and the transportation as well. So I'd be happy to get the word out with you.
Okay, appreciate it.
Well, not seeing any other questions or comments. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to number 8, proclamations. So it was brought to our attention by the chamber director that in the state of Wisconsin that the Chamber of Commerce is recognized for the month of September. So we have on page 5 of your packet a proclamation naming the Rhinelander Chamber of Commerce. I won't go into all the details because you probably don't want to hear me speak about this for 5 minutes, but the chamber is a crucial partner with the city and other organizations, businesses, events to help grow, to make the Rhinelander area a great place to live, work, enjoy, vacation, and start a business. So it is my honor and privilege to proclaim that the month of September for 2023 is the Rhinelander Area Chamber of Commerce Month. So thank you so much for all that you guys do. Okay, with that, let's move on to number 9, ordinances. 9 apply for this meeting. I will state regarding comments made earlier, per a motion made by this body, the second meeting in September, the fee schedule would be discussed. That was made by Daniels and second by Holt. So our next council meeting is where we'll be discussing the fee schedule per that motion. Okay, now moving on to number 10, unfinished business. Discuss and/or action, proposed snow removal program for certain city sidewalks. Refer to city administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. So what we were looking at was we have constantly every winter, it's my understanding, issues with snow not being removed from sidewalks, especially on Lincoln is a big problem because you may remove the snow and then one of our snow plows comes by doing their job and they throw the snow right back up on there. So city staff has been talking about this, about what can be done. And the thing that we keep coming back to is can we do this? It's kind of a bigger job. Right now, we don't know that we'd have the people for it. But if we were to undertake this with the idea of there being a special assessment for the people that are benefiting from this. If you saw in your packet, there's a map and there's also some breakdowns in there. So we want to just take and explore this idea. Not asking you to pass a special assessment, not asking for you to really take any action tonight at all. Just want to let you know that we'd like to have public meetings on this, invite all the people that are going to be affected, that this is going by, and talk with them and just see what their thoughts are. see if this is something they'd be interested in. If they are, great, we'll move forward. If they're not, then we go back to the drawing board or drop it all together. But it's one of those that when you factor in snowbirds or people that may be injured or sick or anything like that, they can't always get out to shovel their sidewalks. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be, well, my sidewalk isn't listed on there. We'd look at this as a pilot project, not looking at it something where we're just going to all at once do this, but just to see how it works for a winter or two and see what we can do with it, see if this is feasible. That's what we're looking for, because we talk a lot about affordable housing, and a lot of people that are struggling to make ends meet may not have a car, and they might have a job in town where they got to walk, and now they got to walk along a sidewalk that hasn't been cleared. Well, I'd like to see if we could clear it, see if it's something we could do. So we'd like to have that conversation and just talk to some folks. Now, I gave you a timeline, and then this morning I took a look at it and went, well, that interferes with one of our budget meetings. So just use that timeline as kind of an example right now. But we'd like to get it out, get this moving, get some public meetings going, have people come out and discuss it. That's what we're looking at. If anybody's got any questions, I'll do my best.
Mr. Anderson?
It sounds like basically a good idea to me, and I think this is one of the things for which the special assessment should be very appropriate and not burdensome to people, but it has to be sold properly, and that's what these meetings are about, I hope. But I guess I also wondered about Brown Street. Obviously is not included. We want to keep the status quo there as far as how that's done.
The idea was to use the streets. We'd come up kind of with a group as these streets being very busy. We didn't include Brown Street. It's something we can look at, definitely.
There was some initial concerns with Brown Street and Davenport having a lot of canopies and overhangs, which could bring more hurdles when it comes to bringing equipment in to remove that. So that was one of those that were kind of open to either one. Depending on how these hearings go in meetings, we would come back to council with what their recommendations of what we got as a body or a group, and then probably be looking at next winter season potentially enacting it. So it wouldn't be something that would happen this year. Definitely, we still have one more winter, no matter what, with the status quo. It would be the following season.
But what we want to do is we want to, measure twice and cut once here. I know that a lot of times things are just let's go, 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 go. And I think that's kind of the wrong idea. I want to have input from the people that matter, and that's the people that are going to be affected by this, as well as city staff. I want this to be something that we can be proud of if this is the way we want to go. Like I said, the assessment, I gave you some numbers too in the packet of what it'd be at $1.50 per foot. So let's say you had 100 feet along your sidewalk in front of your property, you'd be charged $100. Then if there's 10 snow removals, each snow removal costs you $10. And if there's 2, well, then it costs you more. But it's going to be based on snow, and I would love to have a winter that only had 2 snow removals. That would be fantastic. But unfortunately, we don't live in Florida. So that's kind of the idea, and we'd like to move ahead with this and see what people think. And the last thing I would say is if nobody has any real objections to this, we'd like to get a letter out by the end of the week, have something on Facebook by tomorrow. So I would encourage anybody that's interested in this of when the dates are and they want to come out to look at Facebook. And like I said, if you're along one of these streets on one of these addresses, we are going to be sending you a letter. Can't send them certified mail. That would cost a fortune. But we will send them out. We will do the best we can to get the word out about these.
Would you want a motion of some kind to move forward, or?
Never say no to a motion.
Okay.
I can't make it though.
No, neither can I.
All right. Joe Peck, motion to instruct the city administrator and mayor to start, I guess, contacting residents about the proposed sidewalk snow removal pilot program and to start kicking the tires on that.
Barnett, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt, Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski,
Aye.
Eileen Daniel,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Leanne Felton,
Aye.
Tom Kelly.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to 11A, discuss and/or action approving a common council meeting minutes from August 28.
Barnett, I make a motion to approve the council meeting minutes from August 28th, 2023.
Is there a second?
Felton, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Does anyone abstain? Oppose? Motion passes. Moving on to 11B, discuss and/or action approving the bills and claims for $3.2 million.
Barnett, I make a motion to approve the bills and claims in the amount of $3,201,052, right? Did I say that right? And 91 cents.
Jopek second.
Any discussion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Leanne Felton,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Eileen Daniel,
Aye.
Tom Kelly, Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
David Holt, Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 11C, discuss and/or action of accepting the Police and Fire Commission meeting minutes from June 12th.
Jopek motion to accept the Police and Fire Commission open meeting minutes from June 12th.
Anderson, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone who abstains or opposed, motion passes. Moving on to 11D, approval of a mayor appointments to various boards and commissions. You have Ethics Commission, you have an Ashley and a Nate, and then Board of Zoning Appeals, a Jennifer. However you guys want to take it.
Barnett, I make a motion to approve the mayoral appointments to various boards and commissions. Ethics Board, Ashley McLaughlin, alternate, term ending 4/25. Number 2, Nate Shepard, alternate, term ending 4/25. And Board of Zoning Appeals, Jennifer Allen, term ending 4/24.
Jopek second.
Okay, motion second. Mr. Anderson?
I had a question looking at the application forms that were provided that at least one of the people was a non-resident of the city. And I see that the Ethics Commission does not require a person to be a resident, but I was concerned about having most of our commissions and boards filled with residents, and I just wondered how many people on the Ethics Commission are from outside the city compared to inside.
Austin could have looked it up. To my knowledge, she would be the only one who doesn't reside in the city.
Yes, I looked up all the appointments to every city board and commission, and a vast majority are all city residents. And of course, the ones that are requiring city residents are only city residents, but we do have many boards and commissions that do not require city residents. They can be outlying townships.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Not seeing. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any of those who oppose? Abstain? Motion passes. Moving on to 11E, discuss and/or action for Resolution 2023-93.
Barnett, I make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-93, approving the waiving of fees associated with the October 13th, 2023 Rhinelander High School Homecoming Parade.
Mikulowski, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anyone who opposes? Abstain? Motion passes. Moving on to F, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2023-94. This looks to be a change order for Oneida Street project. I refer to Mark from Town and Country.
So there are several word change directives on this change order. I'm going to briefly just go through each of them. So if you look at the change order, there should be some word change directives attached to that change order. The first one, word change directive 8, is for storm sewer changes on Oneida. These storm sewer changes were needed due to conflicts with gas or fiber conduit. Generally what happens is as we install inlets, We'll have to make some adjustments on the storm sewer elevation to fit in between the conduit. So that was number 8. Those were adjusted for conflicts on Oneida. Number 9 is the additional work from Musson that we discussed earlier for $4,689.30. And that's the item that I'll be discussing with WPS. Items 10 through 12 are storm sewer changes on King Street. Again, as well as Oneida one. These are just changes that we have to make during construction to avoid conduit, power poles, gas. We also had tying into the roof drain at Nativity. That came out lower than we had anticipated, so we had to make some adjustments on the storm sewer there as well. So with all those items on all those work change directives, the total of this change order is $18,453.92.
Is there a motion of any kind?
Joe Peck, motion. So this is change order, you said number 8?
No.
94.
This is change order number 3.
Okay, sorry, I heard 8 earlier. My brain's, it's school, all right?
I started out with work change directive number 8.
Gotcha, okay. Joe Peck, motion to approve resolution number 2023-94, approving change order number 3 to the contract with Musson Brothers Incorporated for the 2023 Oneida Avenue Area Utility Street Improvements Project in the amount of $18,453.92.
Barnett, second.
Motion second. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Tom Kelly. Kieran Mikulowski.
Aye.
David Holt. Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Stephen Joe Peck.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to 11G, discuss and/or action, proposed resolution 2023-95. Refer to Mark.
And this is the pay request for Oneida, correct, Mr. Mayor?
Correct, yep, for $608,000.
Okay, so this is for work completed on the Oneida Avenue area project through August 25th. I'm getting ahead of myself. The majority of the work that you'll see on this is for storm sewer on King and Oneida and road gravel, prepping for concrete curb and gutter on Oneida, Anderson, and Conroe. You'll also find in this, as was discussed a couple months ago, the corduroy that we found on Anderson Street. We got all that removed, and the total cost on that, you'll see that in the supplemental items, comes to about 10 grand for removing that corduroy. So all told, with the items done in this pay period, total work for this period was $640,658.58. Hope that's right. My bifocals are getting old here.
No. Kind of, but $608,625.66.
No,
You may want to update your prescription.
No. The total work completed was the $640,858.58 with retainage taken out, 5% retainage. That leaves the payment due this period, $608,625.66, and we recommend payment in that amount.
Joe Peck.
Go ahead.
All right. Joe Peck, motion to approve resolution number 2023-95, approving contractor's application for payment. Number 4 from Musson Brothers Incorporated for work on the Oneida Avenue Utility and Streets Improvements Project in the amount of $608,625.66.
Felton, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt. Stephen Joe Peck.
Aye.
Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Kieran Mikulowski.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Tom Kelly. Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to 11H, discuss and/or action, proposed resolution 2023-96, work change order number 2 for Timbered Drive. Mark?
So this change order encompasses several items. I'll go through them briefly. First is asphalt removal. This is just change in limits of construction on Coolidge. We pushed it a little further south, so there's some additional costs for removing asphalt and prepping that for paving. Second item on this change order is adding an offset deck to an existing inlet. On the south side of Timber Drive, there's existing inlets that were not replaced. There were 2 inlets on that south side where the curb was offset from the inlet by about 1.5 feet. That curb did not change. What we're thinking is those inlets were always offset, but we needed to account for them with the new curb and the new castings. So this one, they added an offset deck. There was another one that they just added a plate and poured around it that was at no cost. The repair of existing water service, this was kind of a big deal out there. There was a water main that was trending closer to the sanitary sewer. So as we went east from Coolidge, that water main, as we showed on the plans, was 8 to 10 feet from the sanitary sewer. What actually happened is that as we headed east out of Coolidge, that water main drifted closer to that sanitary sewer. As it drifted closer to that sanitary sewer, the contractors aren't able to work that close to the water main. This particular one, where there was existing water service repair, there was a corporation stop that was corroded, and when they were digging for the sanitary sewer, it fell off. When it fell off, and Tom Roser was out there and he saw what happened as well. When that thing fell off, it was very similar to what happened on Lincoln Oneida. When that one blew up, kicked up water everywhere. This particular case, they had the sanitary sewer trench open. It flooded the sanitary sewer. The city was out there jetting that sanitary sewer, and the contractor spent several hours out there just trying to clean it up, get it stopped, and get it repaired. So this cost you're seeing here is a lump sum cost from Peterson due to that corporation stop, that existing corroded corporation stop falling off in their trench. The next one is a 4-inch water service at Timberlane Apartments. We had that pegged for a 2-inch, turned out it was a 4-inch. So the contractor had to install a 12 by 6 T. We actually ran 6-inch out to the property line and then reduced it down to a 4-inch to tie that service in. The 2-inch copper water service, this is at First Impressions. That one was an 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches is a very difficult size to match. What we generally do when we hit 1.25 inches, and our standard services are 1 inch for all residential. We had a 1.25 inches, we'll bump that up to 2 inch and then reduce it at the property line, which is what we did for this. We did not have a 2-inch copper water service item in the bid, so this came across as a change order. Temporary water service is the next item. This goes to the drifting in the water main, which I discussed. Because that water main started drifting over, they actually shut that water main down and provided temporary water services to 6 residents so they could continue on with the sanitary sewer without worrying about that water main dropping in. We had a culvert repair. This was a culvert that no one was aware of. This culvert is 19 feet deep. When they hit that, they skimmed over the top of it. They busted a hole in that culvert. Contractor had to repair that. This was during the sanitary sewer installation. And the last one is remove and hand-form curb. As they poured the curb by the Timberlane Apartments, they had put that in. They missed a handicap ramp on the north side, and we actually expanded the approach at the Timberlane Apartments to accommodate that. So that's a $1,780 change. So the total change, or total amount on this change order 2, is $28,478.63.
Out of curiosity, where do we have a 19-foot deep culvert?
It's east of Iverson. There's it's not on GIS mapping. It's out there somewhere. I can take you to it if you want to see it. It's, it takes water from one wetland to the other, but you can't see it. It's so thick with woods in there on both sides. You wouldn't know it's there until you hit it when you're trying to put sanitary sewer in the ground.
True. With that, is there a motion? We're having a nod off.
All right. Make a motion to accept Resolution 2023-96 approving work change order number 2 from the Timber Drive Street and Utility Improvements Project from Town and Country Engineering in the amount of $28,478.63.
Is there a second?
Joe Peck, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Kieran Michalowski.
Aye.
Tom Kelly. Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
David Holt. Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 11I, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2023-97. This is for pay app number 4 for Timber Drive. Mark?
So this pay request encompasses mostly sanitary sewer, water main, some storm sewer, and road gravel from Coolidge up to Woodland. There is no curb and gutter on this pay request. That'll show up on the next one. This is through August 26th. The total amount of work completed this pay period is $471.73, less 5% retainage. That makes the amount due on this pay period of $919,098.14, and we recommend payment in that amount.
Mr. Anderson?
I was just curious who James Peterson is. Is that a subcontractor?
They're a subcontractor to Musson. Yeah, they are installing the sewer and water on this project. They're also doing the sewer and water on the Oneida Avenue project.
Michalowski, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-97, approving contractor's application for payment number 4 from Musson Brothers, Inc. for work on the Timber Drive Improvements Project in the amount of $919,098.14.
Is there a second?
Anderson, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Kieran Michalowski.
Aye.
David Holt. Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Tom Kelly.
Motion passes. Moving on to 11J, discuss and/or action of proposed resolution 2023-98. This would be change order number 1 for Phillip Street water main.
So again, there's several items in this change order, and I'm gonna go through these briefly again. Insulation over water main. There's a 6-foot diameter, about, we think, cooling pipe that runs from Boom Lake to the Mills clarifier that we were unaware of. We were made aware of that from the mill during construction. Because of that, we had raised the water main. We're at a 5.5-foot depth for about the first 60 feet coming east from the bridge. Whenever we're under 6-foot depth, we'll add insulation. So this is 72 feet of insulation that gets us past that cooling pipe and then down to the appropriate elevation. Second one on here is pipe hanger bracket modifications. This again, I hit this briefly when when I gave my summary, but the contractor is hitting some hardened steel, drilling the anchors into the bottom of the bridge deck. We had to make some modifications in the depth of the holes drilled, and we had some issue with some of the concrete cracking underneath that deck. So we had the contractor re-drill some holes a little further into the deck to accommodate that. There will be some additional pipe hanger modifications coming down the road in a future change order, but this takes care of the ones to date. Water main offset. This is a vertical offset, again, going back to that cooling pipe that we had to get over. We had to keep it shallow and then drop it down to depth. Additional backfill for emergency vehicle access. So what this is about is when a contractor typically installs underground pipe, they will leave that open at a certain elevation so they don't have to backfill the entire thing, dig the whole thing up the next day. There's a certain elevation that they would have backfilled up to just to get up to the above the elevation of Boom Lake. During the pre-construction meeting, there was some indication from, or not some indication, but it was discussed that we'd like to keep Phillip Street open at least at night for emergency access. Because of that, the contractor backfilled an additional couple feet at each one of those openings at that time, so that this additional backfill for emergency vehicle access is just to maintain that access at night. Exploratory excavations, this one also goes back to that cooling pipe. This is at my direction. We had the design in place for that, but because of that cooling pipe, and then there was an existing fire hydrant that we were going to tie into, I had the contractor open those up so I get elevations on both of those so we could do a redesign of the profile so we could anticipate what we're running into. So those exploratory excavations are for that cooling pipe and the hydrant. And then permit for administrative work. Again, this goes back to FERC. Per the contract, the owner, i.e. owner engineer, will prepare all the permits. FERC, in this case, during the permit process, require the contractors to submit a safety plan to go along with the permitting. This is just some administrative work from the contractor to prepare that safety plan to be submitted to FERC. So the total change order encompassing all those items is $12,869.50.
Joe Peck, move to approve resolution number 2023-98, approving change order number 1 from Town and Country Engineering for the Phillip Street Water Main Improvement Project in the amount of $12,869.50.
Barnett, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Kira Mikulowski.
Aye.
Tom Kelly. Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
David Holt. Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to 11K, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2023-99. This is pay app 1 and Musson Brothers for Phillip Street. Mark, I'm assuming this is just to pay for what they already done?
Correct.
Cool. Anyone like to make a motion to approve this?
Joe Peck, move to approve resolution number 2023-99, approving the application for payment number 1 from Musson Brothers Incorporated for work completed on the Phillip Street Water Main Improvement Project in the amount of $87,207.53.
Felton, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Tom Kelly. Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Kira Mikulowski.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
David Holt.
Okay. Motion passes. Moving on to 11L, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2023-100. I refer to our city administrator.
No, thank you. I didn't know if Mark wanted to speak on this one too. He's gotten so many of them. So Octagon Towers, who represents SSR Towers, approached the city about the big cell tower, which also holds a flag, at 143 Courtney, about wanting an extra 160 square foot of space next to it in order to put a backup generator there. Negotiated with them, and they will be paying us, if this is approved, $350 per month extra than what they already pay us, which is just under $1,500. A one-time fee of $2,500 up front. They'd like to extend the contract 20 years out, and they will also be putting a manual hoist on there, which doesn't sound like much until you're Jeremy Biolo and you have to raise and lower that flag 3 or 4 times a year. And apparently it's quite the endeavor. So they're going to do that, and brought the agreement to you tonight.
Barnett, I make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-100, approving the Second Amendment to Option and Lease Agreement and First Amendment to Memorandum of Agreement with SRR Towers, LLC.
Michalowski, second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not seen. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Eileen Daniel,
I think she's frozen.
Eileen, we didn't catch that. You were kind of froze up on our end.
Oh, you were froze up on my end, so yeah, aye.
David Holt, Tom Kelly, Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Leanne Felton,
Aye.
Kira Michalowski.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to 11M, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2023-101. Mr. Patrick?
I'm going to turn your honor to Tara Tessman, our IT coordinator, to address this. So the person sitting furthest away from the microphone has to go to the microphone. So, but she's going to be able to speak much clearly on matters of IT.
Hi. This is one of the many phases of the consolidation project. City Hall, Fire Department have been consolidated. We still need to do wastewater, streets, water, and police. Currently, the most critical is a wastewater plant, so it's moved to the forefront. A lot of the equipment out there is old, end of life, and it needs to be replaced, and some missing components put in as well. Do you have any questions?
Ms. Jopek?
This is just a clarification on my end. So like we have a quote for this company, or is that okay? Do we need to be sending it out for bid for others, or are we good to go just by accepting this?
Wisconsin's law with regard to public contracts, which is what you're referring to, does not refer to contracts for professional services. Those are not controlled under that law. So there's no reason for us to put this out for public bidding. I would indicate to you, so you understand, that the individual that is doing this work has been doing this work for a long time for the city, and we've screened her pretty well and challenged her probably very well. But the other thing you should know, and I think it's very important, is she does bid out all the component parts to get us the best price on the component parts. And she shows us that, so we know that's happening. But I think the most important aspect is it's not required.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're good, that's all, so.
Michalowski, I'll make a motion to approve proposed resolution 2023-101, approving the quotes from Technology Management, Inc. for IT upgrades at the city's wastewater plant for a cost not to exceed $115,973.02.
Jopek, second.
Mr. Anderson, I don't know if you had a question or... Nope.
No, I was going to make a motion, but
Yep. And then the only question I have for you, Patrick, or maybe Wendy, is what's the funding source for this?
It's ARPA funds, city's ARPA funds.
Any other discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Tom Kelly, Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Eileen Daniel,
Aye.
Kira Michalowski,
Aye.
Gerald Anderson,
aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
David Holt, Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, here's a unique one. Discuss and/or action proposed resolution for 2023-102. So if approved, we are asking you to unspend money. I refer to our city administrator.
Interesting way to put it. It's the first time in my career I've ever had
Does
a
that
change order.
require a roll call then?
I think so, for good measure.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever had the change order for a negative amount of money, but and for a project that I wasn't here for. But this is the music amphitheater, paying the final payout. But change order is they knock some things off there. Spoke with the representative from MSA. He said that this needed to come to council so you could not spend this money, I guess, or unspend this money. So, and this, while I'm at it, the next one will be about the payoff, and that'll be the final pay for this project, and that will be done.
Jopek, Move to approve resolution 2023-102 approving change order number 1 from MSA Professional Services for the Hodag Park Music Gazebo project in the amount of negative $12,687.
Felton, second.
Any discussion on that motion? Not seeing any. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
David Holt. Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Tom Kelly. Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to 11O, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2023-103. This would be the final payment for that added feature in Hodag Park.
Barnett, I make a motion to approve resolution 2023-103, approving pay application number 4 from SD Ellenbecker for work completed on the Hodag Park Music Gazebo project in the amount of $37,533.20.
Mikulowski, second.
Any discussion on the motion? And just to confirm, is there any outstanding work, or is all work been completed too?
All work has been completed, yeah.
Is this also ARPA funds?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt. Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Eileen Daniel.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Tom Kelly.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to number 12, which would be monthly reports from departments. Mr. Anderson?
I had a question, and now I can't remember which one it is, but someone wrote to all of us, I guess, about the proposal to deal with overgrown, I think the term was overgrown natural vegetation or something like that in the park strips. And I just wondered if there's a plan to have any kind of public meeting, or at least a meeting that people should come to and express opinions on that.
True. So what I think you're referring to is the current ordinance regarding, nuisance and or flower beds in front of the property. So that would first have to go to Planning Commission for their review and guidance. From there, it would come back for recommendation to council about if we want to change the ordinance or not. What this being in the report, the inspection department is noticing it's becoming a more and more common thing. I think there's over 40 properties in the town or in the city that have longer, more like wildflower gardens. I don't know if that's the proper term, but so it's something they're kind of looking for some advice of how to work with this going in the future. Just looking at the timeline, by the time it goes to planning and then back here, I don't see it being something that would affect this calendar year based on the growing season is pretty much done. So it would be, if something were to change, affecting next calendar year.
I move the acceptance of the reports from departments.
Is there a second on the motion?
Felton, second.
Okay, Mr. Barnett?
I had 2 questions on a couple of the reports, and I'm not sure if the proper department heads are here or not, but maybe. Inspections, it was mentioned in the report that the city may want to consider the need to bring back Historical Society. I'd like to know why and what that means.
I refer to Brian from our Fire and Inspections Department.
Good evening. So the Historical Preservation Society is what we're looking for, to reappoint that committee, because when we have buildings that need to be repaired downtown or that are historically preserved buildings, we have 86 of them in the city. We need to go through them through that committee to make sure that it's done properly. So it kind of went away during COVID, so we're requesting to get that committee brought back. We do have one property currently being held on a stop work order until that committee comes back.
Okay, so it read differently because we had discussed bringing that Historical Society back. We were actually talking about looking for people to build that back up. So when it said that, I thought it was like countering what we were discussing. So you want the
I
historical
apologize, yeah,
site.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right. That clarifies that. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
The second one I had was from wastewater. It said well number 5 is not working properly. And I'm just wondering, with our current issues, is it even feasible to support a splash pad at this point?
So number 5, council, I believe 2 to 3 meetings ago approved to have that worked on. So that's going to be rebuilding that project. That sounds like it's every couple years we have to take it apart, rebuild it, clean it, kind of a thing. As far as your second half, if it's feasible to support a splash pad, I'm not a professional on that. I know there's pass-through system and reuse systems.
Sure. There's different systems. There is some concern by staff as to whether that we're down 2 wells, if we could support this. You know, if we're going to start draining towers, especially in the summer, will this be an issue? I would say before we go much further with a splash pad, that question needs to be answered.
Yeah.
I know Kurt Johnson would tell you that he has some real reservations about that. And Kurt's a fan of the splash pad. He's like, I think it'd be a cool thing. But he said, you know, we have to think of the greater good. So.
All right, thank you.
So there's a motion second. Any other discussion? Not seeing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone abstain or nay? Not seeing. Motion approved. Moving on to 13, future agenda items. Anything anyone would like to add? Mr. Barnett?
I'd like to add a discussion on having all the department heads coming back to the meetings so that if there are questions on the reports, that they are there to answer those questions.
Sure. Any other agenda items to add? Okay, not seeing. It is 7:22, meeting adjourned.